6 months it's taken them to balls that decision up. 6 months. I mean, how? How does someone do that? This video is sponsored by Topdon and the amazing ARTIDIAG 800 BT diagnostic machine. Now, this is a wireless diagnostic machine using Bluetooth and is arguably one of the best small diagnostic machines on the market for this price point. It is absolutely superb. We use it every single day. We are never without it. It is our go-to machine. Now, this machine will cover over 10,000 different models from all the major manufacturers and has over 28 different service reset settings, covering things like engine diagnostics, individual manufacturer diagnostics. It will do DPF cleaning, injector coding, ABS bleeding, service resets, TPMS resets. It works on ABS systems, it works on airbag systems. There is so many different service functions available that this machine packs. Now, this is a really simple bit of kit to use, whether you're an amateur or mechanic. I cannot recommend this enough. And as not only does it pack a punch, it also comes with no ongoing costs because it actually has free updates for life from Topdon. So you haven't got to worry next year about updating it for X many hundreds of pounds like all the other rivals out there. Now, the ARTIDIAG 800 BT usually retails at about £240, but you're not going to be paying that because it's back on promotion. Simply use our links in the description and use the promo code HOTDEAL20 and you'll get a massive discount and you'll get the machine down to £199. The cheapest price out there. So make sure you use our links in the description because they are the correct links for the distributor in the UK for Topdon. Making sure you're getting your warranty, your free updates for life, and crucial as well, that discount price. Now, it's only on offer until the 27th of May, so you've got a very small window to get your hands on one. We don't know when they're going to be back on offer again. You will not regret it. It is a fantastic little bit of kit and we would never be without it. So make sure you check out the link in the description and get yourself one ordered today. Hi there, welcome back to the channel, to Car UK and here to the Car Pitch. What has been going on over the last sort of week to 10 days since our last update? Well, it's not great, to be honest with you. It's been a bit of a stressful week. Stress has returned here at the Car Pitch, mainly because of warranty issues which have sprung really out of nowhere and we've had to deal with, and it's slowed everything down. I mean, we can't get sold cars out, we can't get new stuff on sale because we're obviously having to deal with warranty issues, which we need to deal with, but they are really frustrating as well, not just for us but for customers too. So it's not particularly great at the moment. Stress levels have gone right back up. They had come down briefly at the beginning of last week when we managed to get some things sorted and out the door and started getting some sales again. Things were starting to flow nicely. But at the moment, it's just not great. And on top of all this as well, I've had a reply on my business rates. Those of you who watch the channel regular, I put an appeal in, must have been about 6 months ago for business rates, waiting for a decision to basically get my money back because they owe me many thousands of pounds, which I do not actually owe. And I've had a response back, and I'm absolutely fuming about it. But more about that later. Let's get ourselves on the pitch. Right, let's have a look around. Corsa, not moved. That's still in its place. Range Rover. This is the wife's Range Rover. Now, it's in a better condition now than it was when I took it off her because it's been mopped. This is the one that she was driving. We've now replaced it with the Evoque, which has gone off site, albeit temporarily. We did get some jobs on the Evoque, not everything I wanted to because we had a lot of extra work on from warranties and stuff. So for the moment, I put the wife back in that, said like, it's clean, got new mats in it, I've done some bits and bobs to it, mechanicals and stuff. We'll get it back in a week or so and finish off a little bits and bobs, little trim bits that want fitting, which are now here. But this is the car that she was driving. I'm not sure we ever mentioned this on the channel before, as in we've seen it. Obviously I made reference to it. This is the 3-litre diesel Range Rover of Sport. I think it's a 59 or a 60 plate, I can't remember the exact year of it, somewhere around there. Got to be 59 onwards because that's when this new shape facelift started, or facelift started. It's not new shape anymore, it's quite old. It's come up really well actually. I've got some pictures of it here with it was just horrible, all marked down the sides. She used to take it through the car wash a lot and just made a mess of it. It was just a typical sort of neglected car, and it's come up reasonably well. Now it's nice and clean and shiny. It's been all been machine mopped as well, which is good news because it's got rid of a lot of the marks out of it because it was a rough old thing. Just needs valeting today, so we're going to valet it and then I'm going to decide what to do with it. To be honest with you, I'm probably just going to trade it on. It's not a retailable car. Well, it is, you could retail it, but if it goes wrong or you get a light on or anything like that, this thing will live with you, and it's not something I want to do. I don't want to retail big Range Rovers like this, so we'll end up just trading it on. But it definitely need a mop up because it just looked really poor. I mean, it's still got a little bit of chips on the back bumper and stuff, but it's come up okay. It's done 120,000 miles. It runs and drives fine. Doesn't have any warning lights on or anything. it'll do a job for someone. It just needs a valet. Strange interior. Oh, fuck's sake, man. Anyway, now I've turned the alarm off. That's a bit worrying why that came on. But where was I? I've upset half the street now. The 120,000 miles. Strange interior, that's what we're up to, weren't we? Strange interior in it. It feels like I've got a velour sort of seats with half leather. Now, each day would have been quite nice, but a little bit worn on the driver's seat. But it's a given because you sort of catch it every time you go in. But yeah, 122,000 miles done actually. But it's nice, it's different, it's nice. It's been a good servant, to be fair. It hasn't broke down that much. Well, it's broken down a few times, to be fair. But it could have been worse. It's never sort of like blown up or anything, which can happen with these. Actually, I can remember this did leave us stranded once. It was about 6 months ago. Literally got off a plane, got in the car, and got myself up the A50, and broke down as well in it. And it was due to a tyre blowout, basically. In fact, I might even have a clip of what happened. In fact, I have. I'll put it here for you now.
Yeah, that's pretty flat. Spectacularly flat. Right, ironically, when you break down on the M6 motorway, right outside the RAC building. An hour, get here. We're only here. Come on. Can't make it up, can you?
So there you go. Moral of the story is don't buy a Range Rover. So, moving on. Oh, quickly I'll show you this. Engine. That is an engine that's arrived for a Fiesta, which is a white Fiesta, which is buried right at the back over there. We may have seen it once before, but if I just show you, throw the camera over, you can see it over there. 1.25 Zetec engine, blown engine, which is rare for one of those, but you do need to put water in them, which the customer who had that car failed to do, and basically killed it. So we've got an engine there for it. I'm going to put that in. I've got a customer to buy that Fiesta who wants it, but unfortunately, again, nowhere near getting towards that anytime soon. That's probably a job for next week now, as we try and progress through some of these repairs. Now, it looks quite packed here, but a lot of this stuff really is either some sold stuff or trade cars or stuff that we need to, or warranty stuff even. I'll go through what we've got here in a sec. On the sales front, we'll just quickly talk about that because there isn't a great deal of thing that's happened, to be honest. At the moment, this is how bad the situation is. I've got a Peugeot 207, very bright red one that's on sale. We sold the Kia Picanto the other week, the little low mileage one, which I'm really pleased about. That's good news, although we have got to put a clutch in that because it's got slight clutch judder, original clutch in it, done 40,000 miles, and it does have a bit slight judder. So I did promise the customer I'd put a new clutch in. Honestly, we'd do that anyway because it's going to come back, isn't it? It's going to get worse, and we've got to give a warranty period. So I've got to get that sorted this week. But I'm pleased with that because we've got that car very cheap. It was very neglected, and it come up really well. And we'll make a good earning out of that, which would be nice because that will cheer me up. I-10. This is mentioned this before, back on sale. Customer bought it, can't get grips with it because he's gone from an auto to a manual. That's now back on sale. Come up very well. He's improved it by finding the service history, tidying it up a little bit, got some nice trims, and we're getting bites on it, so I'm pretty confident that will go soon. Mini Coopers, what we're going on with there? First one, sold car, cream one, which was somewhere around here, the cream one, the last time we mentioned it. That's sold. Customer picked that up, over the moon with it. We did have to put a timing chain on that Mini, which was, I mean, in a way it was a good thing because we might not have even caught that. The cream Mini, which I'll show you a picture of here, that was, customer came on, wasn't even up for sale, but looked at it, seen it, asked if it was going to go on sale, was happy to wait for it. So we did a deal on it. It didn't really need much really, some shockers and stuff like that. There wasn't a great deal to do, strip and clean the brakes. It wasn't too bad. We'd fixed an oil leak on it. When we were doing the full service on it, which, plugs and stuff like that, we do on Minis because they had a habit of carboning up. We took the plugs out and noticed that there was oil in the base of the spark plug holes, the bore pots, and obviously there shouldn't be oil in those ways. So we decided to take the rocker cover gasket off and replace it. And when we took the rocker cover gasket off, we noticed what part of the chain guide, the timing chain guide, was broken, which is strange because the car wasn't making a rattle, a noise, nothing. It drove perfect. And that's quite odd for those because usually when they have chain issues, they let you know on Minis and Prince engines. So we had to put a chain on it, which was a relief really. We found it because if it hadn't had a rocker cover gasket leaking, we wouldn't have found it, and it would have gone bang and would have cost us big time. Eventually, it might have gone in the next couple of months into warranty, would have been in trouble, and it wouldn't have been nice for the customer even if it got outside of warranty. So we took a bit of a hit on it, but we still make money out of it, and at the end of the day, we got a bit of peace of mind. So that's good news. We got that sorted. So that cream Mini's gone. This Mini Cooper S sold. It is sold. Guy came on last Saturday, just as I was closing actually, and he came on, had a look round it. I didn't think he would be that interested, to be honest. He was giving the right noises, but I didn't think he was a serious buyer, should we say. But that just goes to show you're always learning. And he came back, spoke to my other colleague, and he dealt him, which I'm over the moon about. So never judge a book by its cover. Although saying that, don't trust man on bike. Sold for the asking price. We're really pleased with that. We've still got work to do to it. It needs new rear brakes on it. We're going to be doing those. We've fixed some pipe work under the bonnet that was broken. There'll be other things we need to do to it, but we've got to get that in this week and get that sorted. It was quite funny how the man bought it. He was really into it, but the final sort of icing on the cake was when he drove it. Cooper S, obviously, 180, 90 brake turbo. He went up the road, and as soon as he put his foot down, he went, and he went, I'm having it. That was it. He's having it. That was good news. That was a good selling point. So we're going to get that sorted this week, and hopefully out to the customer as soon as possible. This Mini, nothing on this week, to be fair. I need to sort the pricing out on that. I need to take it off sale, get the pricing down, and get that gone really, because it's probably just too dear. Had a couple of bites on me Seat Me. That's had a couple of people on it this week. I think we've got a test drive lined up for that. I've got a guy who's going to test drive it. He wants it for a to go behind the back of the motorhome. So obviously going to make it one of the adapters you put on the bumper. That's what his plan is for it, which I can see the logic behind it. Small car, cheap to run. Proton, I'm not sure why that's in the front here. That's someone just stuck that in the gap. Let me state this place. Look at this here. This is what annoys me about this street. Bloody beer cans. Super strength Lynx Lager. Black Tenant Super. Have you seen this? 7.5%. I'd be on my back if I drank that. I don't know, eh? Scruffy bastards. Anyway, back to where we were. 207. That's still on sale. Probably need to adjust that maybe slightly on the pricing. Probably need to have to reflect that. We've had people on it, but just, I don't know, it's just not. There's slow sellers now, 207s. They're getting a bit old that, but they still do go. So they are worth having, but I think we do need to maybe look at the pricing. Maybe they're maybe just slightly a bit too dear, 100 quid or something. We need to sort of go and get them sorted. Proton, not really have much interest in this, to be honest. I do need to advertise it properly. It does need finishing off. I don't know why my colleague has shoved it in the gap there. I'll have to have a word with him about that. I think it wants a clutch, as well. I drove it the other day, and the clutch doesn't feel right. Very cheap clutch to do, but I think I need to take it off sale, to be honest, and go for the workshop, get it sorted, cleaned up, machine mopped, probably put a clutch in it. It owes barely nothing. I think it only owes about 400 quid. So it's not going to be a dear car, and it wants dropping as well. The price, it's too dear. I know it's only 20 odd thousand miles, but it's still too dear. I mean, it's not the good sellers, Protons, let's face it. Anyway, what else we got here? There's a little Swift there. We need to do something with that. This is the problem. We've not got much fresh stuff on, and it's just now looking. We've got a lot of the cars that are sort of lagging behind, with the exception of the Seat really and the i10. Everything else has been here a while now, and they just need freshening up. We need to get some new stock on sale and get ourselves sort of going again and get some, some more sales under the belt. And that's easier said than done when you've got a workshop full of cars that are going out and then warranty claims on top of it. Example of warranty claims we've got at the moment. This Megane here. This is a Megane we sold about a month or two ago. Customers have been absolutely brilliant. However, we've got a problem with locking wheel nuts on this. Basically, the key's gone missing. Now, the customer's in a position where they're saying they'd not had the key. We believe we gave them the key, but who's right, who's wrong? That's the issue. It's an error on our part, really. We obviously had a locking wheel nut key for it because we put all new brakes on it, I think, on the back. In fact, you can probably see them just there. There you go, see there, a month or two old now, but they had new brakes on it. Obviously, we've had the wheels off as well. So we know we've had the wheel locking nut at some point, but they're saying they've not had it. And we've got in that awkward position where they're saying one thing, I'm saying another. In reality, the situation needs to be resolved now. I've sort of said, look, let's get it in and say, I'll get the locking nuts off for you, which are a pain on these. Not the worst locking nuts to get off, but they are a pain. The worst ones are Peugeot Citroens with the little round lug type. I'll show you a picture of one here. They are horrendous to get off. You end up cutting the wheels off to get them things off. They're bad news. These aren't so bad. We've got kits for these to get them off. So we'll get these off. It could take a couple of hours. It could be an hour's job, could be a couple of hours. And then just give back to the customer and say, look, right, done, sorted. Because they are nice people, in fairness. So we will sort that for them. But going forward, this is where, again, you need to be learning. I'm always learning. I've been doing this a long time, but even I'm still learning. I need to get a form, or on the invoices, sign from and say, there's your locking wheel nut, there's your key, goodbye. And then we don't have that issue again where someone rings up and says, you're not giving a locking wheel nut key. You say, well, we did, because you've signed for it, there's your signature, obviously you've had it. And then that sort of kills that sort of debate, really. We may have lost it, but the problem is there's an element of doubt there. So I'm just happy just to resolve it for the customer. They're only local anyway, they've left it with us, so that's not too bad as warranty claims go. We have got other warranty claims we'll come to in a minute, which have been a little bit more stressful. Quickly just show you this, we go back onto warranty claims. Dacia's back. We did a video on this recently. I'm crammed in here, but this had a couple of issues, mainly this one on the sill, which you can see now has been painted, as you can see there. Car needs a buff up, it's all a bit flat, but we will buff it up. But now the car is back, which is good news, and we can start the process of getting that on sale. It has been sort of cleaned up, but we need just to put sort of pricing out for it. It's probably going to be $27.95 as well. I did notice when it come back yesterday, it had a moment where it ran a little bit lumpy for a few seconds, and sort of we managed to rev out of it, or rev it up, and it went fine again. So I put a new set of coil packs and leads on it. They're all built in the same, and they're all built in on these, the coil packs and the leads together. Just want to change them. They're original Renault ones on them, because that's a Renault Clio engine. They were just old, about 40 odd quid for a new set. I just want to change them because it shouldn't have misfired, albeit briefly. And they say original leads and coils on it, done 100,000 miles. They just want changing. We've done them, put new plugs in it as well, and so since then it's not had any issues. We've not had any sort of spluttering, so that's good news. So I'm happy with that, and like I said, a bit of peace of mind. So that's going to go on sale imminently. I quite like a Dacia, just cheap, good value. I think that will sell pretty quick. What else we got? Corsa, that was on sale, wasn't it? The Corsa, that is now sold. Customers been picking that up today, so I just want a quick wash off. That's a nice little car, that. Usually Corsas give headaches, but that one was actually alright for a change. That Fiesta's a trade car, I've bought in. I was tempted to retail it, but I decided against it, I just traded it on. KA, that's back off the ramp finally. Still needs more work doing to it. I need to sort the seats out on it. The exhaust needs adjusting at the back because it's clanging against the back. Yeah, that's been a pain, that has, and took a lot of time and money up. One of those cars had to have an axle on it. It's a brand new axle. Show you the brand new axle. Spanker of an axle it is. I've had new axle on it. We always put new shockers on it as well. Hopefully you can see it. Brake pipe ends, all sorts. Gear linkages wet on it. I put new front arms on it. Not dear bits, but just really time consuming. Arms on these are a nightmare to change. They're not straightforward. It's not like a half an hour job that you've got to take the front end off to do them. Rear axles are not easy. It's one of those cars where you tot up the labour, waste the time doing. We'll still get a profit out of it in pounds, shillings and pence, but when you take the time into it, it's one of those. But we need cars, we need small cars, they do sell, and otherwise we'd have been losing money on it, so we just pressed on, and yeah, there you go. Don't need any paint though, that's some relief. But I need to finish that off this week and get that on sale. Fiat 500s, we've got a couple of them back now. We've got to do something with those. One needs a gearbox, one needs an axle. They're better news, Fiat 500s, because you get a bit more money for them. So like I said, that's an 09 KA, that's an 09 Fiat. That, admittedly, that's got a little bit more, that's got a little less miles on it. I think that's got about 90,000, that's got about 80. But they're just worth more, the Fiats. So that, with a nice set of wheels on it and done up and everything, will probably be about £400 or £500 more than the KA equivalent would be. So you've got a bit, and it's about the same money to buy, so good margins in them at least. But again, it's hard work. Let me just grab this phone because there's no one else in at the moment. Why do people do that? You go to the phone, and as soon as you go to grab it, they put the phone down. I'm going to put it in my pocket, the phone, because I know someone's going to ring back in a sec. Anyway, right, moving back onto warranty claims. We had the Skoda Roomster in. Remember the Skoda Roomster? How can you not remember the Skoda Roomster? Blue one. Used to live in the corner there by the Mini. Lived with us for a while, that car. Don't understand why, because it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Sold it to a subscriber locally. He's actually had a couple of cars off us. He's loved the car, no issues with it, until about 6 weeks in. And then he started noticing an issue with the gearbox. It started crunching in second. Not all the time, but it was doing it now and then. And it started getting worse. So he came in, we had a drive in it. Yep, straight away noticed it. It's got a crunch in the second gear. It's a synchro issue. So we had to replace the gearbox. Now he carried on for a few weeks with it because he said he was going to bring it with us and leave it with us for a few days. Obviously, he was going to go on a holiday. So we did that, and we managed to get a gearbox for it. And we managed to resolve that the other day and get it back to him. So that was another warranty claim we had to deal with. That wasn't too bad in the end. It's a little bit worrying because you always, you've got to get the gearbox off, you're checking everything else as well. But we did manage to resolve that for him. I went out and used it, put some miles on it, and I have to say, drove superb, absolutely superb. No issues or faults, and he's not been on since. So I'm hoping that has resolved itself. But like I said, I'm pretty confident we have fixed that. The box was very poorly. But again, something you have to do, come under warranty. Now, moving on to warranty claims, Mariva. This was only sold the other week, last Thursday. Briefly mentioned this on the channel before. This is the car we had from Aston Barclay. It had a water leak when we bought it, and it was leaking out of this pipe here. So the top of the pipe here, where this meets this join on the side of the coolant flange housing, they snap. Quite common on these. It basically goes back to the bottle, and they break. And this was sort of pissing all over the engine. So we didn't drive it back. We just recovered it, and then we replaced the pipe. Well, actually, no, sorry, this is the original pipe, but the bracket was broken. So we managed to get a new flange housing for it. And then also when we do them, we also change the thermostats on these, because these are effectively Corsa engines. But these thermostats are notorious for failing and going wrong, and they're dead cheap to repair and fix, or replace, should we say. So we changed the coolant flange that was leaking, changed the thermostat, which wasn't showing any issues, but we just do it for good practice anyway, because it's just so cheap, and it isn't worth the risk. Goes out to the customer, we've obviously bled it all up, heaters are working, drove it drove lovely, no overheating, nothing. Goes out to the customer, they've had it for what? They've had it for 4 or 5 days. She's gone out out in the city in Manchester around there. It's looking traffic and it's overheated. Gets it recovered here, and there's water all over the top of the engine here, which is worrying. And we're wondering, thinking there's a pipe burst, but there's no water pipes really go around the back of the engine. But what happened was the water's been firing out of the side of the bottle as an overflow expansion, and it fires out here when you get too much pressure, and obviously onto the side of the engine. So that explained that. So the first thing we've done is got a new cap for it, because it probably damaged the cap, and we haven't replaced the cap. It's a good practice change cooling caps. We deal with issues like this. And then ran it up, got water in it, and we couldn't get it to overheat. Could not get it to overheat at all, no matter what we did. Heaters were lovely inside, went out and drove it, nothing. The only time that we actually managed to get it to go into sort of danger territory, with the heaters off in the car, it would shoot up. Because you've got to remember, the heater matrix has got a fan inside, and it is actually sort of murking like a little mini radiator, and that's probably making the difference between this boiling over and not boiling over. So we got that so we had to turn the heaters off, and then standing still in idle traffic with no sort of air going through the radiator, naturally cooling it down, it started to get into danger territory, and the fan wasn't kicking in. So it needs a fan. That's the issue. We've tested the fan as well, put live to it with a probe, and it is trying to work, but it's just really, really slow and making grumble noises. We've got to get it done quickly because the customer is without a car. Now, they've only brought this in yesterday afternoon, so we have at least diagnosed it in quick fashion. But then we don't want to rush it back out to the customer and not resolve the issue. So we've got to put it through its paces, make sure we've secured it. But also, I'm aware of the fact that I'm not long had it. I've only had it less than a week, and the customer rightly should be pissed off. You know, they're annoyed by the situation. I would be. Bought a new car and this happens, but unfortunately these things can happen. Deal with it quickly. But make sure it's right, because we're only going to get one chance with this, and if we let the customer down, they're going to want our money back, and I don't blame them. Quickly moving on, in the workshop I go inundated with people after this. I had about 4 people after it, and we managed to sell it to I think they're subscribers. I'm not sure. But anyway, they bought it. It's had a clutch in it. It was down for a clutch. Like I say, it was barely been touched. It was just washed and light prepped. And we've put some new tyres on it. We've stripped and cleaned the brakes on it. We've done the back seal on the boot. We've undersealed it. We've done a seal repair on it as well. Just a little bit soft. They go soft on these corners here. We mentioned it in one of the videos, the buying guy videos. They go a little bit soft on these back edges here. This one was like that. So one side wasn't too bad. This one was getting worse. They would have passed this MOT, but you might have got an advisory on it. Now, if you covered it over with Schultz and stuff like we've done here before you repair it, you probably wouldn't have even got an advisory because you wouldn't have seen it. But it would have gone through imminently. You know, a year or two, that would have gone through. So we basically decided to cut the section out that was soft, even though it hadn't gone through, put a nice new piece of metal in flush, nice skim over it, and then just put a nice new sort of factory line back on. We do there, put a new line on it, and then underseal the entire underbody as well. We use a real thick Schultz we use on them, which covers really well. Remember, these are old cars, but the major thing you're going to be fighting with an iGo is not the engines and reliability, because they're great, it's just you've got to keep an eye on the rot situation. So any prevention like that is good, because now we've saved the customer, in a year or two, having a problem with that needing welding and being quite expensive to do. We've sorted that out. And for very little time as well. It took us about an hour, and we've probably saved the customer hundreds and hundreds of pounds in a year or two's time with that coming back to bite them. So good news, it's a nice low mileage thing, going out today, which is good. Flew for the MOT, so I'm pleased with that one. I wish we had more of these. We've got a list as long as our arm for people after C1s and iGos, and at the moment I've gone on a bit of a drought. I can't buy them. But if someone could come to me now and say, I've got one, get in touch, because if you've got one, I'll have it. If it's at right money, I will have it, because we've got buyers from everywhere. Just before we wrap up and go have a chat inside, just make sure I've not forgotten anything else on the pitch. I don't think I have, to be honest. Yellow Fiat, that's still there, don't worry. Don't worry, the yellow Fiat's still living with us. I think we've pretty much covered everything, although I have got to get, today, I've just had a call from the scrapyard, that Mondeo in the corner. Old thing that is, I was going to go on with that, but it is horrendous underneath. Horrible thing underneath. It's a lovely car on the outside, but underneath, oh my word, fuel lines rotten, the back axles not rotten, but it just looks scabby. It's just a mess, and I don't want to change the fuel lines and stuff, so it's been there that long now. I probably won't even start. We've got to get that out, get that scrapped, get rid of some dead wood, a lot of dead wood, then get that scrapped as well, that 107. Keep that for in case we ever need an engine for one, and they never break, so pretty pointless really. Phone's going again. I'm going to go answer that, and then we'll have a quick chat about my rates man, which I'm really pleased with the decision he's given me. Right, later on in the day, and we've had a bit of a decent day actually. Managed to clear some problems and some cars off site as well, which is good news. We've got a bit of space back, although it doesn't look like we have, but I'll show you what we've done today. Warranty issues first, and I'm going to talk about the rates in a minute, because that is infuriating me. But for the moment, I'm just going to be a bit positive, talk about the positives of the day before I sort of get angry again about my rates. The Megane locking wheel nuts done. That's now sorted. We're going to get that back to the customer tomorrow. The Mariva, which is here, I'll show you, is also sorted. That was my concern for today. Fan arrived eventually. Euro parts did messes around, but we did manage to get it here. Also changed as well, there's a temperature switch also on the radiator temperature switch. They have two on these, one on one of the coolant housings, which we changed anyway, because we did that before we even sold the car, because we changed both the housing, the stat housing and the coolant flange housing. One was leaking, one we just changed anyway because of good practice, and they are crap for going wrong. But there's also another second switch, which from now on I'm going to change on all Vauxhall 1.4s we get in and 1.2s, because I know they go wrong and I shouldn't have overlooked it. We pulled that out, that was all furred up, so that wasn't probably going to be giving decent readings. We changed the resistor, put the new fan unit on, now works properly, all working, cuts in exactly where it should be, fan kicks in and cools the car down. So it's now not going to overheat in standing traffic or anything like that. I've had it running for hours, working absolutely perfect. So that is really great news. I'm really pleased about that, and like I said, lesson learned. We know in future to take a little bit more care with these, particularly these Vauxhall 1.4s, 1.2s when it's coolant issues, because they are finicky. And it's worth saying as well, we all make mistakes. None of us are perfect, and if a car dealer says he's perfect, keep away from him. Anyhow, moving on, we've got quite a lot of stuff gone today, although you might not look it, we've got some stuff moved. We've 107's gone from there onto there to be scrapped, and we've took the cat off it because that's worth a few quid, so we'll have that off. We're going to scrap that in the morning. Got rid of a part exchange that came in earlier. We scrapped that off, that came straight in, got rid of that. We also got rid of a black Corsa that went out today as well, that's sold and away. Got rid of an iGo this morning, that's sold and away, that's good. We got rid of the Mondeo in the corner. We just made a little bit more space and had a bit of a shimmy round, pulled out some stuff, pulled out this Peugeot that's been languishing in the corner for ages, looking really bad. Drives lovely, but just horrendous inside and out. Wants all new trims on it, wants all straightened up on the front end. It will make a car, so the valet is going to be getting on with that the next couple of days, which he's over the moon about. We've got a couple of cars that have been dumped here overnight, just sort of staff cars they've just left here, but we've got to have a bit of space tomorrow. Plus, we're going to get rid of the Polo this week. I've traded on the Safira over there as well. We're starting to get a bit of room back, which is good news. I'm pleased about that. But anyway, let me talk to you about these rates, what has been going on. Well, let me grab you the paperwork, and I'll explain to you why I'm peed off with the rates office. Okay, right, let me talk to you about my rates. I have waited 6 months for an appeal to go through from the rates office. Basically, I'm paying far too much business rates, not because I feel as though I am paying too much and just sort of arguing with them for no reason. I genuinely am paying rates for bits of land that I don't actually lease or own or lease, to say I actually lease these premises. So there's a land next door, which I'll show you in a minute, and also some land now part of the shop, and it was all one, and it's been split up over the years, and then there's been some more sort of divisions lately since I moved in, and they've not been taking off the correct bills. Now that now falls to me to sort out, and I need to sort it out because I spent, what, £2,000 or £3,000 last year, I think it was, or maybe more than that, on the business rates, and another bill that's just landed as well. They're asking for more rates for this year, and in reality, I shouldn't be paying anything. And it's a ridiculous rule because what basically has happened is that I am literally just slightly over the threshold, where it's basically businesses don't pay anything under 12 grand, small businesses like mine, you don't pay any business rates. But if you go slightly over, you pay a lot. And I mean a lot. Like I said, I am paying many thousands of pounds a year for being £1,750 over the threshold. Now, if that was just the case, that that's the land, that's the rate that I've got, and it adds up to that, I'd have to pay it. That would be acceptable. But when you've got land on your bill that's not yours, you want that off. Because if I just get under that threshold, I'm going to save many thousands of pounds. And like I said, just being slightly over doesn't mean you pay the difference. You pay a lot more because it tapers backwards. It's like a relief rate that goes from backwards, so now from 100% downwards, and then you obviously have to pay a difference. Basically, it's costing me a lot of money and I want it back. But to do that, I need an appeal. So I sent all the information in, all the ordnance survey maps, all my lease documents, showing my land, showing where the rates was wrong, with how old it was outdated, give them all the correct measurements, everything they wanted to know. And they came back and told me that I was correct, that I was overpaying, but I was overpaying by £250. The rate band was £250 too much, which to me sounded a little bit strange because that was not the calculations that I had. I had myself just under the 12 grand, which was convenient, but nonetheless, even if it had been slightly over, it would have saved me a lot of money. But they disagreed and said that my rate band is now 13,500, so it's gone down 250 quid. And they've based the 250 quid reduction that the total land extra that I submitted only came to 8 square meters. Yeah, you heard me right, 8 square meters. Let me just put some context on what this 8 square meters looks like. So here is my boundary. So this is where the end of my premises, and there's a big imaginary line here that goes all the way down here, and you can actually see there's a row. These are my row of cars here. So that's next doors on the right, which is not mine, and this is part of my land. Now on the bill, they have got the entire basically forecourt grounded area on the one bill, which is where I'm saying it's wrong, because this land here is used by next door, it's a separate business, it belongs on their bill. Now, it's not going to affect his bill, it will put the rate bill up slightly, but because he's so far under the rate band, it won't mean you have to pay any rates, so it's not going to affect him. So obviously that's the main thing. I'm not dumping the bill onto someone else, and even if I had to, at the end of the day, let's be realistic, it's not my bill to pay. But it's not going to affect next door, so he's not too fussed, he's not bothered. But I am, because it's costing me thousands. And the other bit of land is over here. So you see, this lean-to here, this is part of the shop next door. This was also part of the forecourt, and it's quite a big storage area. It goes from the shop there, all the way from the front, all the way back, and there's also a little bit there, the little lime green colour, whatever, olive coloured, say that is. Now, I'm not quite sure how many meters that is, but it's a lot more than 8 square meters. And the same way that that piece of land over there, which also extends around the back, by the way, there's also land all the way around the back as well, they are saying that land all there, which has got about, what, 13, 14 cars down on it and round the side, and all that building there, the bottom there, only comes to 8 square meters. I mean, what? 6 months it's taken them to balls that decision up. 6 months. I mean, how? How does someone do that? Even my 9-year-old daughter can tell that all that land comes to more than 8 square meters. A 9-year-old could work that out. Oh no, not the valuations office. I mean, like, it's not just them. It's just, what is it with the modern world today? It's like industrial incompetence. Whether you go speak to your council or your doctors or even your dentist, I had the same problem with the other day. It's just everything with public services is just an absolute joke. I mean, I know they're underfunded and I know they've got problems and cutbacks and all that, but honestly, it just infuriates me. It's going to take me now, what, 4 or 5 months to sort all this mess out, to basically try and get someone else hopefully back out to view the place, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But then again, it could get another ridiculous decision. Anyway, that is boiling my blood, that is, so I'm going to stop talking about that. I think you've heard enough of me ranting on anyway. Let's go back to the positives. We've had a positive day, bar that race, which has just peed me off. We've got some warranty claims sorted and done. That's a good thing. We've got them sorted. And I've cleared a bit of space, which is good news because I've got so much dead wood that I needed to get rid of. Get that money back in and throw it in somewhere else as well. Get in some more cars, which I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to go to the auctions to get some more stock in. Hopefully some C1s I'm after. And also a breakfast sandwich, which is free at Aston Barclay tomorrow. So I'll be definitely going there. But anyway, I think that is a wrap for today, people. Thank you for watching this video. By the way, make sure you check out the ARTIDIAG 800BT in the link description. It's on offer until the 27th of May. Use the promo code HOTDEAL20. Trust me, you will not regret it. It is brilliant. We use ours every day. In fact, I was using mine just today. So make sure you check that out. And also, please like and subscribe because it helps me out immensely and makes me able to carry on doing these videos. So thanks again, and I'll see you all in the next one.